Hi.
Hi. Happy Friday, guys. I'm very sick. Mark is starting to get sick, so I do apologize in advance if I lose my breath a little bit during this stream.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know if it's, I think it's my allergies have turned into sick because I've had allergies and now it's turning into sick. We went to a concert last night. Now I'm just sick. So, I'm gonna probably try to keep things relatively concise today with questions more towards the end. That way I can maintain my flow. Just like I said, if my energy isn't how it normally is, you'll have to excuse me. We also have a fan going today because it's really stuffy in the basement. So if for any reason you hear kind of like a whirring noise in the background,
It's a box fan.
yeah, if it is something that is annoying and you guys can hear it, our sound cancellation should be taking care of it. But if you can hear it in the background, just let us know. We can always turn it off. It's just, when you're like hot and you feel gross and you're snotty and
Yeah.
it's like the air just makes you feel claustrophobic.
There's all kind of stuff going around. Huge COVID outbreak right now. Human parvovirus is starting to spread, so that's pretty cool.
Yay, and there's West Nile in our area
in our
too.
area. It's cool.
Super fun.
Doomsday
So
times.
stay safe, everybody, because man, there's all kinds of stuff going around.
I said they can't hear the fan at all.
Okay.
That's fine. Perfect.
Good. And I've got like 2 water bottles. I might have to blow my nose, but I'll like scoot off stream so I'm not grossing anybody out. But happy Friday, guys. We've got some holiday insights from Etsy. It's not a lot, but I think that between these and some of the summer things that Target's posted that I feel are going to maintain throughout the holidays, just based on some of the things that I've seen, along with some of the stuff that I'm kind of seeing start to trend over at E-Rank, we can start to paint a bigger picture. I'm also on Tuesday going to be publishing another video with more trends that I discovered through doing 2024 Christmas tree research, which is weird, especially when you're like, I don't sell ornaments or I don't sell Christmas tree stuff. The way that trees trend will influence other areas as well. So, for example, 2 years ago, coastal themed Christmas trees were trending, which was like, nautical, ocean themed. And we saw those ocean themes start to trend across all categories. And I don't know if you saw like this summer, but it reminded me of like, do you guys remember in, I mean, 70s dolphins and things were big, but I remember in the 90s they became really big again, like the dolphins and the lighthouses and all that. My grandma's whole house was decorated in that stuff. And I saw a lot of that this year during the summer. So, anyway, a lot of these things that we see trending with Christmas trees will trend in other categories as well. So that'll be coming on Tuesday. Normally I record those videos on Friday right after the bean. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I'm probably going to have to wait till Sunday, which is cool because I'll have a new hair color on Sunday. So that'll be fun.
Bit of a comment.
Yeah.
Checked out your shop that you said you started a year ago. It only has 100 sales at this time. So are you wondering about confirming your strategies are effective?
Yeah,
I appreciate the content response. You also have to consider that shop is so extremely niche. How many books do you have content for?
3.
So there are 3 books that are exclusively used to create the content. So only people that like those books are people that are going to buy that. This was not a
money-making scheme.
Yeah, no, it's literally just a fan shop.
Right. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. My first Etsy shop, Art by Starla and Marc, which you can still find it. It's closed down. I decided after my grandma passed away, I was dealing with a lot of trauma at the time when I closed that shop. My main supplier, which was Swarovski Crystals, no longer allowed sellers to utilize their components for crafting. That shop, I was working around 16 hours a day, like trying to fulfill orders, make everything. And, we were meeting all of our deadlines with shipping, but I was not scaling that business well, despite the fact that it was making 6 figures. And that was including the Etsy sales and direct commissions that I took through PayPal and eBay sales. So with Art by Starla and Marc, that was a business that I ran for 9 years. That was a 6-figure shop. when I decided to close that shop, because I did become a manager at eRank, which that's Etsy's biggest SEO tool. That's, where most of my strategies come from. I'm not making them up. You know what I mean? I'm not just like inventing them. These are strategies based on Etsy's best practices, based on the things that, we teach and repeat through our trainings over at eRank, that we build these tools specifically to cater to what Etsy tells us in the Ultimate Guide to Search. So it's not just about my singular experiences, though I hope that through my students who, utilize my strategy, we've got thousands of students now, and, many of them are in the comments, and they can tell you how their shops have worked by implementing those strategies. But with Books and Cold Brew, I'm not dedicating much time to marketing it. I'm not dedicating much time to keeping up with adding products. I'm not dedicating much time to, constantly crunching numbers, because Books and Cold Brews is a way for me to do something fun where I can test things out and where I can ensure that my role at eRank, I'm able to look at a tool if we want to build something or change something. Like, for example, right now we're working on our browser extension tool. I need a shop that I can have, ready to go in order to be able to test these tools, tweak these tools, give feedback to our dev team on these tools. If I don't have a shop with a defined niche that's actively getting organic traffic, then I have no way to actually do my job at eRank.
Realistically, the only necessity for being able to teach selling on Etsy is having a shop, so we can see what the back end of a shop looks like. At the point that we're at, we've been dealing with Etsy for so long, we don't really need a shop to tell you how to best optimize a shop. Not to mention the fact that we work with over 1,000 shops anyway, and nothing that she's already working 40 to 60 hour weeks every week. There's zero chance she would be able to run a full-time shop.
Exactly. So all I can say when it comes to my strategies is, yeah, they're up to date, but implement them and prove or disprove me on your own. And that's what everybody here does. And I hope that,
not using anecdotal evidence, because we use almost no anecdotal evidence whatsoever.
Yeah. I would much rather be that person with that overhead view that works with thousands of sellers, that works at eRank, where we hold a majority of Etsy sellers within our customer base at eRank. I have that overhead view of them. So I hope that my strategies and what I teach, stand for themselves. Not to mention, a lot of what I teach is based on consumer psychology and human psychology. This can be implemented no matter what you sell, and it's because I have a background in teaching. Before this, I was a teacher. So the things that I am teaching you are based on human behavioral science that I learned as a teacher and have continued to pursue in my free time as an entrepreneur. So those strategies, it doesn't matter where you sell. Human psychology, we're all human, therefore human psychology is going to work whether you're doing sales or whether you're teaching.
Okay, anyway.
Let's go ahead but I get that question a lot. So I'm not offended by that. I hope that, me being sick right now and I hope that it's not sounding like I'm mad. I'm not mad at all. But I do get that question quite a bit. Like I said, implement my strategies, listen to my community. And if you don't agree with something that I say, that's totally fine too. I just always ask that people, when they challenge something that I teach, always provide me evidence, because I have been wrong. And I'm always happy to be disproven, as long as you're doing so scientifically and not with anecdotal evidence. That's the only thing that I ask. Only somebody with a really big fat head is going to say, I am right about everything and nobody else is right but me. There are tons of people who have different strategies that are right. These are just the ones that I find work the best, because they're based on data and human behavioral science. Data and science, those are two things that can't be disputed. You know what I mean?
We're not TikTok trend chasers. We don't just give you the quick buck info.
Now let's talk about trends.
Let's talk about trends. Let's do it.
Trends. The thing about trends is that you can implement them if you want to. You can chase them if you want to. They're completely optional. But some of the trends that we see are good for marketing, even if they're not good for creating your products. I'll have some examples of that here in just a few minutes. But let's start with Etsy's very first Marketplace Insights Guide for the early 2024 holiday season. They will release another one of these closer to the holidays, hopefully, because this one really didn't give us very much. But like I said, I've kind of put more things together in order to give more examples outside of just what we've seen here.
Ready for screen share?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Moore. Okay, so this link is down below in the video description for you guys if you want to follow along with me. I'm going to skip past all of this, like how to use this guide. If you want to see all the different occasions. Okay, so a couple things that I noticed this year, and I'll actually be touching on this a bit during the video for Tuesday. Do you see like this disco ball kind of texture? I saw this for Halloween. I saw pumpkins and skulls and all different Halloween items that were made like out of disco ball. I'm also starting to now see Christmas trees that are themed in this kind of disco ball theme. So that, especially since we've been seeing 70s, 80s, and 90s themes trending, I dare say that in Halloween too, there was a whole 70s like groovy Halloween collection at Michael's.
I just think of fingerprints.
Oh yeah, fingerprints. But, you know, think about those 70s palettes, the kind of like pea green, you know what I mean? Like what color am I call it baby poop green. What's that green color? Like
olive drab?
Yeah, like an olive green. You know, that kind of burnt orange, that mustard yellow.
Dude, we saw a lot of that at that concert yesterday. I saw a lot of people in those colors wearing bell bottoms.
Yeah.
70s thing is in.
The 70s aesthetic is definitely in, so that might be something that you could incorporate into holiday designs, whether you're doing POD or handmade. Halloween this year, it's a little late to list anything for Halloween. However, pinks and purples and these cute pastel colors have been very popular. So with that in mind, I dare say we'll probably start to see some Christmas trees that are more girly and these kind of cute colors.
Oh, yeah.
Cute themes. I think it would be cute to even see this, you know, go over into the POD realm where you're theming Christmas shirts in these kind of cutesy, you know, really girly aesthetics. I could see that being a really cute way to, you know, universally create designs that could work for POD or handmade. So there's a lot of really specific things in here, but a lot of these are going to be seasonal, like dorm art. You know, that's obviously college kids just went back to school. That one's probably a little dated. Rhinestone and sequin art. This one's interesting, and we could probably do a lot with this over the holidays as well. Look at some of these color palettes. Don't just look at what the items are, because obviously this is in clothing, and I know many of you do POD, but I doubt there's as many of you who do handmade clothing items. But look at some of the designs and the style. It's like, these all look like children's clothing, but they're very like retro and classy. I love the little vests and the colors. So this green that we were talking about, the plaid, the little bows are super cute. Charms. Individuality is key this year, and charms are a surefire way to stand out amongst the crowd. So these are ways that you can customize different products with charms. A cool thing about charms is that you can utilize these as product add-ons. So for example, if you sell something like a tumbler, you could have an upcharge where you can get the tumbler or a tumbler with a charm for a little bit extra as one of your product variations in your listings. I've been seeing them on like the Stanley cups too, which be careful, you know, using words like Stanley, but the word cup charms, that's really interesting. Keychains, backpacks. This is a lot of things that are catered towards students, but I'm definitely seeing adults with the bag charms as well. I know that Bath and Body Works just released a bunch of cool things for their like little pocket back clips, and they sent me one for free, and it had a bunch of stuff on it. It had like a whistle and like a little key shaped charm and a little flashlight. So it's like big chunky charms, you know what I mean? So nature, this is more going along the lines of, you know, Halloween in this description. However, when I was doing research for Christmas tree themes, they were talking about things like the dried foliage. They specified dried citrus fruit slices, like dried orange slices and natural materials. So it said, you know, things that shoppers can use well into Thanksgiving. I wouldn't stop there. I dare say that these, you know, dried foliage, natural materials like wood, wicker, these are things that you could probably incorporate into holiday, not just decor, but also giftable items as well. Same with styled plants and planters. Planters are so popular right now because there's so many people who, you know, having a pet is freaking expensive. Having children is very expensive. So a lot of young adults are opting for plants instead because they're less expensive, and you know, if it dies, you can just go get another one. You know what I mean? Go wild with wreaths, earthy updates, and fall harvest favorites like pumpkins. Again, you can incorporate these things into holiday, swapping out some of these things for things like holly and pine. And then they talk about it here. Nature will continue to make a big impact during the holiday season. Citrus accents. So these are so cute. I love these. And you could probably even do, you know, if you didn't want to utilize real fruit, because I'm sure that that's probably hard, you could probably find, you know, even artificial fruit slices and things.
Yep.
I really like these though. I think that these are pretty. I bet they smell nice too if you did like,
especially over the fireplace. Oh
yeah,
my God.
like citrus and cloves. Yeah.
I think a couple cinnamon sticks up there.
So one of our trends from spring and summer. So it's, you know, kind of coming full circle. We had it incorporated in spring and summer. I talked about how lemon slices were popular. Now we're starting to see the dried lemons. It's like the result of the summer fresh lemons is the dried lemons that will be good for fall and for the holidays.
It's almost like an ancient human thing of preserving fruits throughout the seasons when they're not growing. Yeah, it's crazy.
So this is one that I mentioned in the Tuesday video, but roommate gifts. I found that very interesting. There were 3 keywords here: college gift, custom made pillows, and friend gifts. And roommate gifts. I actually did a compare keyword search on all 4 of these terms. Roommate gifts seems to be a bit of a sweet spot. It's not super duper searched, but the competition is very low. So I actually really think that this is an interesting one, especially since more young people are having to rely on roommates in order to have affordable housing. They have to share that load with someone else. So roommate gifts, or, you know, those who are in college sharing a dorm, that might be really fun.
Somebody said, I checked out the shop with the orange garland on the mantle, and there were some terrible AI generated art that she used in the photos. It's surprising how bad it was and that she published them.
Aw, that stinks. Well,
it is what it is.
Either way, these are pretty photos, right? This was another term. This term is unheard of.
Adulting?
Yeah, I checked eRank to see if this was a trending term. It's not. But these are things that adults are doing. They seem like stress relievers, and this could be a lot of fun as a Christmas gift idea for those who do printables. Custom or personalized paint by number kits, crochet kits, and adult crafting kits.
Dude, some people just like to do mindless, like, numbing things, you know, like building models from your childhood, you know.
I have a coloring book. You know, it's like one of those really detailed coloring books, but every once in a while, if I've got a little bit of time to spare and my brain is just overloaded, I'll sit and color a picture. So adult coloring pages, that might also be fun. And this one is the one that got me the most excited because of my, you know, bookish themed shop. Book club essentials. I've been experimenting lately with the keyword combo book club gift and book club gifts, just because, you know, it would fit my niche perfectly. And I know the books that we license with, like the Sarah Maas books, there are a lot of book clubs that are reading them because they're so trendy on TikTok right now. So I don't know how those keywords are currently doing, but I'll let you guys know. It's just something that I'm trying to test and play around with. But bookmarks. Bookmarks are huge this year, and a lot of my students who are selling bookmarks are seeing amazing results from their bookmarks. Not just bookmarks, but magnetic bookmarks, leather bookmarks, custom bookmarks. These are all things that Etsy says that they've seen a notable increase in interest for. Ebook cases, book lover items. I'll admit I've used the terms book lover gifts and, book lover items in my listings. These are it's like they're long tail keywords, but they're not, because they're not very descript. So I wouldn't like base an entire shop off of that keyword. But it's always good to have those book themed giftable terms in your listings around holiday time. So I love the whole book club thing though. That's great. It's not just
cool.
Yeah, it's not just book lovers, book clubs. I actually had somebody, was it one of you guys who emailed me? I'm really curious. Somebody emailed me saying that they wanted to use my science fiction book for their book club. And I'm like, yeah,
absolutely.
I'll send y'all copies of it if you want it for my book club or your book club. So this was really interesting, and this kind of mirrors what Josh Silverman has said in the last investors report about Etsy moving in the direction of quality, moving away from showcasing listings that appear to be identical to other listings. So this is where, yes, following trends is important, but adapting them. For example, like I use the Mama Bear shirt, the shirt with just a bear on it that says Mama Bear. There's like a million listings on Etsy that have a bear that says Mama Bear. If you notice that Mama Bears are trending, what can you do that's different with the Mama Bear theme? Gifting will be all about quality, making each one as special as possible. So how can you make, these gifts very, very special? This could be gift wrapping, showing your customers how these products will arrive to them. If you offer some type of packaging that's special for the holidays, making sure those are in your listings with a focused intention on the details. Personalization will be key. So personalization, this is so big. You could charge, one price for a non-personalized item, and you could even charge a little extra as an add-on to personalize the product in some way. Even if you create something like jewelry. When I sold my key necklaces, there was one year where I experimented with the upcharge idea where, they could pay a few dollars more to add an extra charm to their necklace. And all I did was I got on a wholesale site and I bought a bunch of letter charms, like initials, and they could add that initial onto their chain for an extra charge. That way it could be like a key to my heart type thing, and they could give it to their loved one. I only charged, I think, like $2 extra to add that one little charm onto the pendant. But those little $2 increments, when you have like 200 orders all roll in a day, it really does add up. It's $2 that you might not have made previously. So if you can add anything custom, anything personalized, whether it be a little birthstone, a little charm, some type of engraving, if you do something digital, it's a lot easier because you can just, change your file for them. That's going to be very, very trendy.
Somebody asked what the name of your book was. It's called The Channel.
The Channel. You can buy it any online retailer. And if you have a Barnes and Noble, you can ask them to ship it to store. It's not in the store, but if you go in and ask them to, they'll ship it to your store. And sustainability. This is going to be products that are reusable, that aren't having a negative impact on the earth. This would be like utilizing those citrus slices. If you're using real citrus slices, dried and not, plastic ones, that would be an example of something that is falling into that realm of sustainability. Shoppers will think about ways to blend old and new to create modern heirlooms. I love this. I'm noticing that a lot with the vintage aesthetics and, trying to tailor your holidays to those vintage aesthetics. Incorporating meaningful pieces and vintage for items that can be passed down for generations. I love that because we're in this really big era of consumerism. I still have ornaments that my great grandma, she used to work in retail when she was very, very young. And she, got lots of ornaments and things from places like Elder Beerman's. And she always had our tree done in these beautiful vintage ornaments, but I've kept those ornaments for years, and someday I'll pass them down to my daughter. We don't really do that as much anymore. People will change their Christmas tree theme every year, or they'll, you know what I mean? Like there's always a new shirt to buy. There's always a new thing to buy. We don't think so much about heirlooms and things to pass down. And I think that as, time goes on, people are getting a little bit sick of this consumerism, like constantly buy, 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 buy.
Yes, my God.
I think that we're going to start moving in this direction of pieces that are very meaningful, that can be used for years and years and years, rather than these, cheapo single-use items. I think
Sustainability.
Right. Well, the thing with the cheapo single-use items is, we have a lot of mass-produced junk from sites like Temu, for example, and Alibaba, that they work for like a minute, or it's something cheap that you're entertained by for a few minutes, and then you toss it aside and it ends up in the garbage.
Saturating the world with plastic.
Exactly. So things that can be passed down and used for a long time, I would start leaning in to more sustainable materials as well. If you do handmade, things like wood, things like leathers, things like metals, things like marble,
Things you can recycle.
yeah. And for clothing, maybe try to think about the longevity of a piece. Sure, you might make some quick sales, if you want to be that trend hunter, and you see like a reference that's made in like the news or the media, and you make, a t-shirt about it, you might make a couple sales from that, but that's one of those trends that's going to die out really quick. For example, do you guys remember like the picture of Bernie Sanders all like cuddled up in his mittens? And then the Bernie Sanders mittens were trending. That trend now, if you looked it up, I doubt that there's anything about the Bernie Sanders mitten. And everybody was obsessed with it for like a quarter of a second with him, with his mask on and his mittens. And now it's like not even a thing anymore. So don't put all your money and, time into products that aren't going to serve as longevity pieces, because obviously that's a lot of time that you just invested into something that it might make some quick sales. Now it's a little different when you do something like POD, but I think about all the shops that started on Etsy selling masks, and then once everybody had a mask, these sellers who had all these sales, like their sales completely stopped. They're like, why are my sales stopped? Well, because everybody already has a mask. Everybody has a bunch of masks. All right, so they've got a couple other things, tutorials, things like that, if you want to scroll through this article. But in this article, they mention a checklist to optimize your listings to appeal to shoppers with gift recipients in mind. I like this article, however. So there's a couple good things in here. Add a shop section for your most giftable items. You could do this if you wanted to. Unless you're a shop that specifically makes gifts, I like to see items paired based on what they are. For example, if you go into my shop, there is a category for each author, because usually if somebody's obsessed with an author, they only want to see stuff from that author. Then there's a section for more general products, like all of our blankets are in a section, all of our coffee tumblers are in a section, aside from those that are themed in the authors. If I were to make a gift section, how would I choose what goes in there? You know what I mean? It's just kind of a weird section, unless you're creating like gift baskets or products that are intended to be giftable, like gift sets or even sets of cards. If say you do greeting cards and you bundle big sets of cards, which I think everybody who sells greeting cards should do for the holidays, because people don't just buy one card, they want to buy in bulk. The other thing they talk about, inspire shoppers with keywords like gift for dog mom, teacher appreciation. I like these. One that they were pushing a lot last year was this gifts under 20. If we go up into eRank and search for gifts under 20, we can see an okay. I mean, this looks like a big surge, but it's only an average of 4,500 searches, which isn't really that much. And look at that competition. That competition, I can almost bet directly correlates with Etsy telling people to do it. So everybody rushed and did it. And then nobody else is actually searching for that keyword. So when it comes to things like this, Etsy's going to give ideas, but you always want to double check when it comes to the data. It also looks like 100% of those searches came from the US. So I'm curious, for especially like those of you in the UK, I learn weird things about the UK all the time, just being friends, with the people in the UK, like Pam and Amber. Do you guys search like for things like gifts under 20? Is that something that you guys would search for? I'm just curious if that's like a way that you guys would search. I don't think that I would search in that way. And you know what? Etsy has filters that allow you to filter based on price. If you wanted a gift under $20, you would just hit the filter button. So this just doesn't seem like a good keyword in my opinion. But if you wanted to go through and take a look at this, it's linked in that initial article. This was the article that they pushed when they first introduced gift mode. So feel free to check that out. It's linked right under the video on this. Here's a checklist.
They said no, not at all.
No. Okay. Yeah, I don't search like that. So, but it says 100% of those searches came from the US. So, all right. So going over to Target, even if you don't have a Target in your area, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't take advantage of those trends. When Target releases their actual trends for winter, we'll do another trend analysis video because they don't have any winter trends right now. It's still very much late summer, but there were a couple things in here. Most of these are back to school. There were a couple things in here, though, that I thought were very interesting. So like college, beauty, yada, yada. Look at this. Desert Aunt aesthetic. So this very neutral color palette, this is trending in Christmas trees this year. All of the, big Christmas tree websites are talking about neutral aesthetics for Christmas trees. Natural fabrics, earth tones, and chic accents. So that's really interesting. And this is something that, when it comes to giftable items, remember that people aren't necessarily searching for Christmas themed things to give as gifts. Have you guys ever received Christmas pajamas for Christmas?
It's weird.
It's like, oh, cool. Yay. I love these. And then like the day after Christmas, you're like, I'm sick of red and green. Like, I'm sick of Christmas stuff. Like, bring on the next holiday.
This stuff doesn't remind me of Desert Aunt.
No, it doesn't. But
no, and I think Desert Aunt, I think like patchouli, corduroys, and turquoise.
Yeah, turquoise. I don't know. She
You know what I'm
she might smell like patchouli. I hate the smell of patchouli. They literally use patchouli to cover the smell of dead bodies like back in the day. Like I don't like patchouli.
It's an okay smell. It doesn't bother me.
Oh,
it overpowers everything.
It triggers me. All I can think about is the fact that they used to use it to cover the smell of dead bodies. So in my brain, I'm just like, ew, dead smell. But notice how natural these fabrics and things look in these palettes, and not just the palettes of the items, but look at the background that they're using. They're using this brown and this very subtle tan shade. These are shades that I'm seeing trending with Christmas trees. So, just something to keep in mind, especially if you do anything in the decor category, in the clothing categories, in the jewelry categories. Gold is really big, whereas a couple years ago, it was all about silver and white gold. I'm noticing that gold is very popular right now. Here's that green again that we talked about. I actually really like this aesthetic. It's kind of got like a Southwestern kind of vibe to it. Some watercolors, but a very similar palette all around. It feels very 70s to me. I love the leather accents with the gold. This bowl is very pretty. So just something to keep in mind. We don't need to necessarily always do everything in crazy, crazy bold colors. If you're more of a neutral kind of person, you can always lean in this direction with some of the products that you make, because sometimes, people naturally gravitate towards the more neutral option simply because they don't know what choice to make. That's one of the things that I do when I'm looking at, for example, shoes. I was trying to pick out a new pair of running shoes, and I was looking at, they had like neon yellow and bright orange and baby blue and like cotton candy colors. And I didn't want white because white I would just get dirty. And I didn't want black because I was like, I don't know. I just didn't want solid black shoes. I immediately gravitated towards this kind of neutral tan color because it was like right in the middle. So just something to think about. The other thing I want to show you guys is marble accents. This is one that I'm sure that we will see maintained throughout the holiday season as well. I love this. From lamps to side tables, add natural colors and unique textures for an elevated finish. Now, if you don't sell products like this, that's fine. Think about how you photograph your items together. So for example, they're photographing this product here. Look at the props that they're using in their photography and how beautiful this photo is with the blurred background, the subtle plant in the background, the pillows that are the same shade. Even looking at the photos that they use here is very inspiring. But I love the marble pieces. We're seeing more of that brass and marble, very subtle colors, very abstract kind of sculpted pieces.
I'm on this marble.
Yeah, I like this.
I love it.
This green is very pretty. We've been into the marble aesthetic for a couple years now.
Into it, but not paying into it.
Well, our kitchen is almost all everything we have.
Fake marble.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've got white marble up there on
Wow.
all of our accents. Our paper towel holders, white marble. Our spoon rest is white marble.
That's true.
We've got a lot of white marble up there. So just, more of those sustainable items. One of these bookends will last forever. This is something that you don't have to buy it
That's
over and
a literal
over.
forever gift.
Yeah, these are items that are going to last as long as the trend lasts.
Oh, it'll fit pretty much any aesthetic too. Doesn't really matter. Marble fits everything.
So if you're interested in looking more at this, just go to target.com/finds. Their Christmas category, it shows 16, but these are from last year, so they haven't quite updated that. But if you want to go through, my favorite spot is to go into Target Style because these are pictures that people have posted from, I believe, Instagram, where they've actually tagged Target. Looks like they have videos now. That's cool.
Neat.
But you get little glimpses into people's homes and you can see how they're decorated and you can look at what people are wearing. This is a really cool way to get a glimpse into the lifestyles of people who could be your target customers. And, when you're building a dream customer profile, knowing what type of accents and things that they have around their home is very helpful. Look at all these neutrals. Look at this, marble, wood, very, very neutral colors. More neutral colors, glass, wood. So, like I said, we'll come back to this a little closer to the holiday because, again, most of these are definitely still catered towards fall. This is a trend right here. These are my favorite trending products right now. Who posted these? Who was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to show everybody?
That was a weird flex. I've got allergies.
Everybody's got allergies. That's why it's trendy. But definitely keep an eye on this Target finds section as we get closer to the holidays because I love going in and, just seeing how people's homes are decorated. Okay, so there's Target. The last thing I want to show you, we'll head over to eRank. I'll just go to my main, home page so I can show you how to navigate to this specific section. All right. So you can go into the trend tools. There's the trend buzz and the monthly trends. Trend buzz will allow you to see what's trending in other marketplaces, not just Etsy. Monthly trends will allow you to sort by categories. Just beware of trademark terms. A lot of people search for trademark terms like Bruno Mars shirt, Bruno Mars merch. Man, there's a lot of Bruno. What's going on with Bruno Mars?
What did he do?
I don't listen to Bruno Mars.
What did Run the Jewels do?
Let us know. But just because these terms are trending, it doesn't mean that it's safe to use. It just means that people are searching for these things. Unfortunately, when it comes to keyword data, we can't go through and, filter out all of the potentially trademarked terms. There's just no way to do it. But you can sort by category and kind of look at some of the things that are trending in categories like Christmas, for example. We can see that Christmas ornaments are starting to be searched for. We just sold some Christmas ornaments in our shop. Christmas P&Gs. These are probably people who also have businesses who are starting to make their own products and they want to get some Christmas designs. Christmas stockings. Those started to be searched last month. And keep in mind, on the 1st of September, we'll have all new data for August. So you'll want to check back to eRank on September 1st to see the new data. Christmas decor, Christmas gifts, Christmas shirt, Christmas in July. Look at that. All right, so the thing that I really want to show you, though, can you type Christmas up here? I'm going to show you a little trick. eRank's not been working great. We're working on a fix for this, but I want to show you a little hack that'll get you through until we fix the bug. I identified this bug a couple weeks ago, and we're still trying to find a good way to fix it.
They said he made a song with Lady Gaga.
Oh, and Lady Gaga is probably really trendy right now because the new Joker movie.
New hip-hop duo. I know who Run the Jewels is. They did a bunch of music for Cyberpunk.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So look here, trend alert. Christmas. This keyword has been popular on Etsy over the past week. Look, we're seeing in July 16,740 searches. Now that's technically lower than last year because we had 29,780 last year. However, I'm going to assume that August will see this pick up just a bit. But let me show you something interesting. So if you go into eRank and you're like, okay, the keyword ideas, I'm not getting anything. These are all crappy keywords. We're working on sorting these a little better. But let me show you how to get the good stuff. Let me show you where to find the good keywords. And you can do this with any keyword, okay? What you want to do is click include keywords. Type in the word that you want to find. So in this case, Christmas. Click apply. Give it just a minute. And now click.
I'm not making goat sounds. I'm sick.
Goat sounds.
I can't breathe.
And then click up on this average searches. And you will see the most highly searched items first. And then from here, if you want to sort through and find the ones with the lowest competition, there's a couple sweet spots in here. So Christmas garland, not too bad searches compared to the competition, especially if you were to specify a color, you could get some good long tail keywords in there. Blue Christmas garland, green Christmas garland, lemon Christmas garland, citrus Christmas garland. Lots of ways that you could extend this so that it's hitting multiple categories. What's this one? Christmas tablecloth. Looks like really low competition on Christmas tablecloth. Not quite taking off on searches yet, but I can almost bet you by next month or when we get our next set of data in for August, it should be up a little bit. What's this one? Christmas lingerie. Ooh, sexy. That's some pretty dang low competition there. That's a decent sweet spot. Clicks and click-through rates are good as well. What's this one? Christmas nails for those who do like press-ons. That's not bad. Competition isn't bad. You can scroll through if you want. There's a couple in here that, Christmas village again. The searches aren't super duper high compared to the competition, but if you were to get very specific about your Christmas village, like minimalist Christmas village, in fact, we could even click on Christmas village and see if there are any better terms. I know a couple of our students make really pretty, like minimalist Christmas villages. Oh, looky there. That's not too bad.
Time to make a lingerie Mothman. My time to shine.
Christmas village, Christmas villages.
That would actually be pretty funny.
Mountain Christmas village. That's interesting. And then if you wanted to be more specific, you could go in and do the include keywords and make sure that it includes Christmas village. Dickens Christmas village. That's cute. And
I'm here for goat sounds. I don't know how to interpret that.
That sounds like a fetish. That's different. That's odd. But anyway, guys, this is just a couple ideas. Like I said, we will definitely do more of these trend analysis. You can go ahead and.
All right.
We'll do more of these later on when we have more to share. It's kind of early for trends. People are very much embracing the Halloween thing right now. And if I would have known that Summerween would have been trending, I would have let you guys know that months ago, because Summerween, like this end of summer Halloween thing, is huge right now. Our daughter is actually going to a Summerween pool party tomorrow where they wear their costumes. It's crazy this year. So I think that people are really embracing the idea of Halloween this year. Hopefully you guys already have your Halloween items listed. If not, you need to get those listed like right now, because September is when people buy those. By October, they're usually already shopping for Christmas items. But I think that we're good if there were...
You guys are good to get questions in. There weren't really... Is Etsy doing something like encouraging handmade holiday, as seemed to be popular last year?
They're putting a lot of money into ads right now that directly showcase the sellers.
Oh, nice.
So they're trying to really emphasize that handmade touch, showing the pictures of the person who's making the products. Obviously, it's like a 1 in a gazillion chance that any of us will ever actually get featured by one of those ads. But through their advertising, I really do think that they are trying to, you know, push that they are a handmade platform. The buyers are commenting on these ads, you know, not sellers, actual buyers, and they're saying, oh, I can't even find anything handmade on Etsy anymore. So, but I will say that in the last few months, I don't know how it's doing right now, but over the last few months, the word handmade was, you know, kind of starting to pick up some traction in terms of search volumes on Etsy. So if you're genuinely hand making your items, you know, maybe stick that keyword in there. If you're spending a bunch of time doing like woodwork or something like that, might be worth your time to stick it in your listings.
Commercials they have now should have been in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I agree. The Super Bowl commercial was trash.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it. At least they're doing, at least they did something, but I think they missed the mark.
In general, does handmade jewelry items tend to be trend regularly through the year and then fluctuate with themes, holidays, events, or does it have a regular season?
It just depends on the style of the jewelry and the niche and the aesthetic. If you guys are still doing the kind of geeky niche jewelry, I can almost bet that that's more of a year-round thing, because there are things like Comic-Con and conventions that take place year-round. Halloween time, you're going to see some upticks in products like that because they're going to contribute to costumes. But they're also highly giftable, just depending on what specifically you're making. I would really try to lean into, you know, the fantasy and, you know, geeky themes, simply because, you know, that's the niche you guys are building. But it's also very, very trendy right now, especially with so much taking place in the realm of modern fantasy and sci-fi. There's tons of things like film adaptations, video game adaptations, book adaptations to film that are coming out. And obviously you can't make products based on those things. But if, you know, we'll just say that like a new Star Wars movie is announced, that kind of brings an overall awareness for products that are themed in space. Just like, do you guys remember when The Walking Dead was new and everyone was obsessed with zombies?
Every video game that came out was zombies.
Yeah, everything was zombies. Like, products were all zombies. I had some best-selling zombie-themed jewelry in my shop. So just kind of keep an eye on trends. House of the Dragon just aired. Dragon themes are very popular in general. You can't use the keyword House of the Dragon, but something that's generally dragon themed, that's going to appeal to D&D people, House of the Dragon people, people who are reading books like Fourth Wing. There's a lot of fun ways that you can incorporate more evergreen products. So,
oh, and the new Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I sell bookish themed items, and a majority of these wouldn't fit these products. Do you think it would be best to try to incorporate them into social media posts?
I sell bookish themed products, and I'm incorporating several of them into. I guess it just depends on. I guess it just depends on specifically what type of bookish themed items that you sell. For example, in our bookish shop, with all the neutrals that are trending, we're POD. So with those themes, we're trying to lean more into neutral themed options for the clothing that we're offering and what we're actually printing on. Just because we know that neutrals are more popular than like a bright red t-shirt, for example. The florals, like those kind of natural florals, I'm going to be releasing some more kind of florally watercolor themed designs into our shop. Our trends, though, in the bookish niche are going to be very, very different. And it's easier for us to research them because all we have to do is head on to TikTok or head on to Instagram and search for like hashtag bookish. hashtag book talk, hashtag bookstagram. And you can tend to get an idea of the overall aesthetic and vibes of our target customers just by doing those quick searches. So don't constrain yourself just to the trends that you saw today, though some of them will absolutely be applicable to us. But also, expand out into those other areas as well. Make sure that you're doing your own research, because every niche is going to have its own special aesthetic that's going to come with it. These general trends are just kind of what we're going to see in retail stores. And because of that, we're going to see people looking for them on Etsy as well.
How do you guys know what to jump on for hot topics like the Summerween?
So it's really just about kind of keeping your ear to the ground and listening. I know that a lot of countries kind of have trouble doing that because you guys tend to hear about it after the US blows something out of proportion, like Summerween. Cool. The Summerween thing was something that I noticed on social media trending. Hashtag Summerween. I follow a lot of product-based pages. My favorite page to follow right now is Marky Devo on Facebook.
Because we're fat kids at heart.
Marky Devo is amazing. He posts every time retail stores get new trendy products or foods related to like a holiday or something, he posts about it. And sometimes I hear terms in his posts, like the Summerween, for example. But a lot of it's just being on social media a lot, scrolling through things, following the right pages, listening to what my kid is talking about. My daughter has been talking about the Summerween thing. If you feel like you're kind of out of the loop with stuff like this because maybe you don't consume a lot of that content, that's totally fine. That's why we try to do these streams for you guys, so that if you're somebody who doesn't constantly consume all of this media, unfortunately with our jobs, we just kind of have to. But if you're not someone who consumes a lot of media, we try to cover them during these trend videos. Like what was the desert aunt? I'd never heard that term before, but that was one that was Target was mentioning.
Trying to keep staples that are more evergreen. Sometimes this means the design of a product takes so long it misses a trend. Is it better late than never applicable here?
I think it just depends on what the item is. So for your shop, the spooky stuff is trendy all year round because there are people who celebrate Halloween all year round. They even do their Christmas trees in Halloween. With the gothy products, you're probably good. If you're chasing a trend like Christmas specifically, or Valentine's Day specifically, or Mother's Day specifically, holidays are going to be a little harder because people tend to not search for those types of items after the holiday is already passed. Same with seasons, unless your shop is so big that you're appealing to people in different hemispheres where, during our summer it's cold there. But there aren't going to be very many shops that are big enough to be able to still sell their winter products in the summer based on, where they ship. So it really just depends. I think that there are some trends that are very universal, like the spooky stuff that people are going to want all year round. I think there are also trends like Christmas themed things that people, they don't even want to look at it after the holidays. I don't know about you, but when I walk down that Christmas aisle after Christmas and they're trying to sell all the stuff like at a steep discount, I'm just like, ugh. Even if it was something I was looking at full price like previously, and I'm like, man, I wish I could afford that. And then I walk by it when it's like 70% off, and I'm just like, I could afford it now, but I don't want it in my house. I don't want it. I don't want to look at it.
A lot of people didn't know about the new Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so there's the anime, the Rohirrim, Rohirrim. There's also, a lot of you might not have even heard, Peter Jackson's actually coming back. They're doing more Lord of the Rings movies. I think they're going to be prequels.
Are they going to do the Silmarillion?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think they've actually released the details on it. There's also 3 new Star Wars movies, 1 sequel and 2 more prequels.
Don't use any of those terms, though.
Nope.
You will get in big trouble. Those are not... as somebody who gets licenses with authors, Lord of the Rings is not one you'll ever be able to get. Star Wars is owned by Disney. You'll never be able to get that license, and those are ones that'll sue you.
Yes,
so.
Yes, it is an anime. War of the Rohirrim. It's going to be obviously exactly what it sounds like. What's the latest on the 5.4 versus 4.3 for thumbnail image? I've started reading new things and getting confused. I know about trimming, but just to be aware on all sides.
Sharon, I would recommend going over to Christina Nicole's YouTube channel. She is my source for all things Etsy photo resolution updates, because she's a product photography coach. Can you type by Christina Nicole in the chat? She has all the recent videos. Just go into her most recent uploads, find the one about Etsy listing photos, and watch that.
Is there an H in there?
No, that's it.
That's it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's her. That's the name of her channel. Go find by Christina Nicole. Her logo is just a K.
I'm almost certain that's spelled wrong.
It's not. I type it in almost every day. Oh my goodness. You could just link her if you want.
No, it's right.
I knew it was.
No, you didn't.
But go follow her and check her videos. Because she's the expert on this. She has the best content. I personally still do square photos for everything, and I just plan enough space around my product. That way, no matter what, if Etsy crops it this way, mobile is different than desktop. Most of the time it's going to be a square, but if it's not, I just take it in a square. That way it's good to go no matter where it's, posted.
Why do some of the shipping profiles on Etsy include Ground Advantage and others just first class mail? Do they show up with the same shipping costs?
Ooh, Laura, I'm not sure on that one. That might be a good question for the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, which is linked down below. You're probably a member already, but if not, Handmade Alpha Facebook community, and then maybe you can do some like comparative research with another community member there.
Just realized that Etsy did away with the ability to set free shipping at a certain amount.
Did
so
they?
Unless you offer flat shipping or create a promo code, free shipping is not, guaranteed is only over $35.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Dorothy.
How do you chase trends when you're dealing with the very niche things like mine? Just creating designs for POD blankets, tees, mugs, etc. with similar color palettes?
It really just depends. Again, this kind of falls into like our Bookish niche thing, where rather than gravitating towards, the bright colors, sticking to those neutrals for your t-shirts, for example, because obviously you're doing more reptile themed products. Just looking at, for example, the types of designs that are trending with, if you go into Target and you notice that all of the shirts have little watercolor flowers on them and they're very floral and pretty on neutral colored shirts like a beige. Okay, maybe you do some cool shirt with like little watercolor flowers, but then there's a little watercolor bearded dragon peeking its head out of them, where the general public likes the watercolor flowers, but your audience also is a niche within that general public. So how can you add a little bit of your own touch into what's popular? We're experimenting with that now with a new shirt over at Books and Cold Brews. It's a very specific reference from Throne of Glass. And we're incorporating in it's like a mauve t-shirt with one of the dragons from the book, but we added these watercolor floral accents all around him. And I wanted to experiment with that because I noticed that the fall floral with the watercolors and kind of those dusty rose colors were really trendy. And I wanted to play around with that design to see how it did. So
you guys gotta get questions in. We're gonna end up running out and having to cut off.
Oh,
they do
man.
not have to be relative to the topic at hand today. Are there any digital sellers in here that have done well with Thanksgiving products? Okay, so that's not a question for us.
Oh, hey guys, there's a new trending keyword that I forgot to mention. This is going to be a really touchy one, but I know that there's a couple of you who sell products related to like memorials, and I've seen some of you do products that are like preserving funeral flowers and things like that. Obituary templates are trending right now on Etsy.
That's a little weird.
I know, it's very interesting, but I can see it being something that's very useful, especially if someone's grieving and they don't have...
Like, I don't want to do this.
Right. That might be something very helpful for someone. So just a very obscure thing that only a very specific type of shop is going to be able to pull off, but just something to consider because, man, when I had to write Granny's obituary, that was not...
Fun.
That was not fun. So... I could see that being very useful.
Helps with the grieving process, though.
It does for some people, but other people just, I feel like, might not be able to do it alone.
I agree. So I'm skeptical. I love Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit was such a letdown. I loved it. I loved The Hobbit. I thought it was great. Not that the original Lord of the Rings movies didn't completely butcher the original books anyway, considering they had to cut entire characters out of the story. Do you have social media accounts that are really good with post/trends, ones you would recommend for us to follow to get ideas for our own accounts?
Do you specifically mean for Bookish, or do you mean in general? For Bookish, I recommend following Bookish Box, The Bookish Box, Lit Joy Crate, Fairy Loot, not just for the products themselves, but how they photograph them, especially Bookish Box. They have the most beautiful product photos. In general, on Facebook, I like Marky Devo just because he talks about the trending foods and things, but he also talks about trending products. Scents Galore on Instagram. They release every time Bath and Body Works is working on a new collection. They will reveal it early and let you know what the trends are. That's how I do my Halloween trend video every year, is I kind of follow Scents Galore so that I can see, you know, what imagery is trending at Bath and Body Works, because whatever imagery is trending at Bath and Body Works, that'll be the decor trend. So, for example, with Bath and Body Works this year, like rhinestone themed products and evil eyes, and there were a couple other crystal balls. Those were trending, or those were planned for their product releases, and Scents Galore posted about it like weeks before Bath and Body Works announced it, because they have like insiders who work there who leak these ideas. But now, if you look, all this witchy themed stuff is in stores now for Halloween, and it's all crystal balls and evil eyes and all these rhinestone covered things. So, you know, you just kind of got to look at the trends and think, maybe, just maybe, this will apply to my thing. And sometimes it does.
What's the best way to transfer listings from an old dead shop to a brand new shop?
There's no such thing as an old dead shop. There's no such thing as an old dead shop. There's no easy way to transfer listings.
Unless it's an old shop with a bunch of 1-star reviews.
Yeah. You don't want to, the only thing that you want to avoid is, you know, you can't have the same item in two shops. You'll get your shops deactivated. There's no easy way to do it. Unfortunately, there's no way to
do it.
You just got to do it.
Build it from scratch.
Yep, you're basically starting over, but there's no such thing as a dead shop. You can resurrect any shop. Etsy doesn't hold a grudge against your shop unless you've gotten like a bunch of bad reviews, or gotten a bunch of like copyright strikes. But I've seen people who have had shops that are like 10 plus years old, that, you know, where they had a shop long ago, shut it down, you know, decided not to do anything with it, and then decided to add products years later, and they were doing fine. The algorithm doesn't really hold a grudge unless you've done something that causes it to, and a lack of sales is not reason for Etsy to hold a grudge against you.
Ground Advantage is only available if you set a specific price for shipping.
Got it.
I worked with Etsy customer service with it last year.
Thank you.
Do you recommend taking Christmas items down at the end of the season and republish the following year?
You can. So there's two ways to do it, because people start shopping for Christmas items as early as June, which is, I don't know who these people are, but good on them for getting ahead. You can either leave them in your shop. It's not going to hurt you at all. There's no harm that comes from it. Don't expect them to sell. But if they do, you know, cool. Every once in a while, we sell a Christmas ornament halfway through the year. No idea why the person bought it, but, you know, it's money we wouldn't have had. So you can leave them in there if you want. I like to just hit rearrange on my shop and push them all to the very last page. That way, when somebody's visiting my shop for the first time, they're not bombarded with Christmas stuff and it's like, you know, March. Or if you have a big enough following, like maybe you've got an email list or a social media following, you can take them down and re-release them as new. That's what I used to do with my very first shop, Art by Starla and Marc, but that's because I had an audience of 40,000 people who were ready to buy the moment that I, you know, had those new products. So when I'm like, oh, you know, our favorites from last year are back. You know, these sold out last year and now they're back in my shop. Get them before they're gone. I did that. I had keys for Santa, where the kids, if you didn't have a chimney, the kids could take their key for Santa and it came on an ornament hook and they could hang it outside on the door, and the magic key would let Santa come in the house if you didn't have a chimney. And those did so well every year that when I would just take them down and then re-release them like they were new, because on that day that I released them, they sold like hotcakes. So it's really just up to you and how big your audience currently is. But if you don't have like a big external audience that's ready to buy, it's not going to hurt you to leave those items up.
Mabel said you guys aren't feeling great. I think we're all cool with you stopping early. We can do that. You guys love us. The algorithm, however, is a whole different beast. Plus, the moment we hop off here, neither of us is going to stop moving until we go to bed tonight because we're very busy today.
Yeah. Sucks.
I have a crochet plushie shop, but due to a hand injury, will you please quit?
Hand inquiry.
I'm wanting to change direction and sell art prints and sticker sheets. Should I just start a new shop and I can repurpose my current shop?
What style are your crocheted plushies? If they're like cute little critters, could you make your stickers and your art prints cute little critters? Because the product isn't the niche. Your product is your industry. But your niche might be cute little crocheted critters. So if it's cute little crocheted critters, or you've got a similar aesthetic that will carry over to those products, you could totally leave them in the same shop. That's fine.
Justice for Tom Bombadil. Absolutely.
I was going to suggest Fairy Loot. I love their stuff. Yeah, I love Fairy Loot.
Don't forget the mouth of Sauron, or the voice of Sauron. They completely bastardized that whole scene. I don't think you could list the same product twice, so how can I split test with different title and tags?
You can list the same product twice.
Just got to be in the same shop.
Yep, you're allowed to A/B split test within your shop. You can have the same item in your shop more than once. You can split test your tags and titles. You can split test your listing images. When you're running an A/B split test, though, just keep in mind that, if you had 2 plants, all right, and you wanted to know, let's say 3 plants. 2 plants isn't enough. If you had 3 plants and you wanted to know what makes plants grow best, water, Mountain Dew, or coffee.
Whichever one has electrolytes.
Shut up.
It's what plants crave.
Very few people are going to get that reference.
A lot of people are going to get that reference. We're living it.
You have three plants and you want to know what liquid makes the plants grow best. You would not be able to figure out which liquid makes plants grow best if you dumped water, coffee, and Mountain Dew all into one pot. Isolated experiments are the way to go when you're trying to gauge results. So if you're doing an A/B split test to see which thumbnail is better, don't also change the keywords, because then you're not going to know which of those changes actually helped. So I recommend running micro experiments. I wouldn't make copies of every single listing in your shop. I would run, very small experiments to see what's doing better. You can take listings that maybe haven't been selling at all, swap out your thumbnail and try to make a copy of it and see if maybe that new thumbnail helps. Then if it does, then you could just deactivate that listing that isn't selling anymore. There's a lot of different ways to split test, but it's completely safe to do in your shop.
They all got it. They got it.
Of course
Brondo,
they did.
They got it. And so some said Crocs as well. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, the reason Crocs took off is because the movie Idiocracy wanted the dumbest futuristic looking shoes they could find, and Crocs was still a small startup, and they bought everyone wore Crocs in that movie. They bought thousands of pairs of Crocs and kind of jump-started Crocs. So just so you're aware, they are the dumbest futuristic looking shoes, and I cannot take them off my feet. I love them so much.
We wear Crocs. We're Crocs people.
Didn't they ban the sale of AI prompts? How is that different, making a different obituary template versus an AI prompt template?
I'm assuming that if you're writing it, an obituary template would be you writing it, not prompting it with AI.
Yeah, they're using AI though.
It's a template that somebody's probably should be writing.
Yeah.
And it might be a visual obituary template. I would do it could be something that has like the template for the photo, all the information, and then the actual, obituary, but it might include like the visuals as well.
Have you guys noticed any issues with certain print providers or Printify? I keep trying to order a sample mug before publishing it, and it goes through the sample order process, and then it says the item doesn't exist.
Get a hold of Printify. They're great. Their customer service is pretty great. Drop them a message and let them know that you're having an issue. I also recommend that everybody who uses Printify specifically should join the Printify POD Rockstars group on Facebook, because it's completely manned by Printify staff, and they're very helpful.
They're all just...
Oh, is it all? Are you getting...
Yeah, they're all the Idiocracy comments.
Oh my goodness. I love how I said no one would get that reference and everybody
Go away. I
everybody
can't say the rest of it, but go away.
everybody got that reference.
Any any suggestions for if we want to make batch gift boxes of our own stuff? Are nice boxes to display stuff a thing people are into? Like thinking of offering batch/themes items in a nice box.
Sure. Yeah. Gift boxes. I mean, basically, you're making it easy for someone to buy one thing that serves as lots of gifts. Think of it like that. If I was buying we'll say a coffee, gifts for a coffee lover, we'll say I'm buying something for Mark. I gotta go, if I'm gonna buy him stuff, I gotta go find like a mug for him. I gotta go find some good coffee for him. I gotta find like our coffee press. I gotta find maybe like a mug rug. I gotta shop from all these different shops. I gotta pay the shipping individually for all these different items. I gotta track all these different orders, the shipping. Then I gotta find a way to wrap them all myself or put them in my own basket. What a pain in the butt. If somebody offered me a coffee themed gift box that was ready to go, pretty, ready for gifting, that's the thing I'm going to opt for. People are buying gift boxes to gift them. So you're basically taking the step of shopping out of the equation for that busy person, making it, an easy choice for them so that they can just say, oh, this is everything that I need. Like, this is perfect. Now I don't have to go and buy 20 different items. I can just give them this one thing, and that's my one awesome gift. It's like multiple gifts.
Yep, I saw your email, mistress. I'll get to it after the stream. Wait, we can push them to the last page. We can arrange what things sit. Yes.
There's a rearrange button when you're in your actual storefront. Like, you have an edit shop button or near your banner on the left side. You click on that, and then on the right side, right above your actual listings, there will be a button that says rearrange listings.
Maybe wrong place to ask, but anybody notice that Printify is no longer transferring customer email addresses to the order? I'm having to manually enter it on the Printify side.
Oh, I have no idea. Not something I've personally noticed, but might be worth asking them.
If you have expired/deactivated listings that you don't plan to restock, but they do have reviews, if I delete the listing, will the reviews go away?
No. The reviews will stay there forever.
That would be cheat codes. You can't do that.
Yeah, because what if that's almost like that's like having the receipts, if you like had something that was selling really, really bad, or getting lots of bad reviews, Etsy wants to make sure that that history is still there. You know what I mean?
I have a new shop, no sales yet. Should I clearly communicate to shoppers that it is new?
No.
Maybe in the announcement? No, they're going to know for one, because it'll say 0 sales.
It's not relevant information.
Nah.
What is saying that I'm new going to contribute to their buying experience? As a shopper, what they're thinking in their head, and this is something that everybody should remember. When someone is shopping, they're thinking, me, me, me. Me, 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 me. And they're looking for one good reason why they should trust you. And you saying, I'm brand new, that's a reason to maybe not trust you. So never highlight the reason why they might not trust you. Hopefully they, just see the item, they love it, and they buy it. But saying I'm new, it's not going to, I doubt it would negatively contribute, but it's just not necessary information.
Would you recommend Etsy's new pattern website service? Or they didn't say new. Etsy's pattern website service. I'd like to start a website soon. I'm looking at my options.
It's not really your website. It's just your Etsy shop with your listings somewhere else, displayed in a different way. I mean, is it worth it?
Definitely easier than building your own website. That's for sure.
It's just taking your listings and putting them on a new. It's cheap if you want to do that, but it's not your own website. And if your Etsy shop gets shut down, you lose your pattern too. So, if you're wanting to make sure that all your eggs aren't in one basket, I would recommend doing something like Shopify instead.
Good Lord. I'm popular today.
Don't throw eggs.
We're not over yet. My phone bounced and hit the button. Can I list the same item in each? We already
No.
went over this, but no, you cannot.
No, you cannot have the same item in multiple shops.
If I change the title, no,
No.
you cannot.
You cannot. Etsy can tell that excuse me. Etsy can tell that your images are the same. I'm starting to struggle to be able to breathe.
We only have 15 minutes left.
Okay. I puffed my inhaler before I came down here, and it's it can only do so much. The inhaler does help though. I did get prescribed with the inhaler, and it's been very nice.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I don't own Crocs. I just bought more high tops. I just bought knee-high boots, and they're the most comfortable shoes I own. How would you sell an obituary template? Wouldn't someone just copy the text from the listing?
I doubt that
They're probably personalized with an example.
Right, I'm thinking more of like maybe like a Canva template or something. I don't know. I'm just telling you that the keyword itself is trending. You guys would have to do the research into what it even means. I just saw that the keyword obituary. If you go into eRank on, if you already have a membership, on the right side of your dashboard, it'll show the trending terms, like the things that we've noticed that are trending out of nowhere. Obituary templates is in there. So that's where I noticed it today, but I didn't do any additional research into it.
Are coffee bar signs a real thing?
Yeah.
Still a real thing. Yes, they are very much.
We've got them upstairs right now. We've got our own little crappy coffee bar sign. It has to, ours, we've got like this thin metal one because we have to stick it to our window with suction cups. So we can't put a heavy one there. So I got like the super thin metal one. But yeah, they're totally still trendy, especially with the ones with that like farmhouse aesthetic.
I reached out to Printify and they gave me a ticket number, but no resolution. The item is currently in the Printify catalog and all variations are available from the provider, but still fails to order in any color.
Well,
that's weird.
Ask for an update on your ticket. If it's been, like a week and you haven't heard anything, ask for an update. If you don't if you don't make any progress there, try posting in the Printify Rockstars group and
make it more of a public thing. Just don't reach out directly to the provider because for some reason Printify doesn't allow you to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why they I doubt it's a provider issue. It sounds more like an issue on Printify's end.
Where do I add my FAQs? I keep hearing about how important they are, but I don't see it in my info or settings.
So they're not in they're not in the back end of your shop. You need to go to your actual storefront, like where you see your listings and your banner and everything. On the left side of your banner, like under it, there will be a button that says Edit Shop. Click that. Scroll all the way to the bottom of your shop where all your policies and stuff are, and you'll have the option to add your FAQs. They'll be one of the last options on that page where your policies and your about section and all that is. It's down there.
I got this message from a seller. Please don't forget to leave me a review. We worked very hard on this order. Is it wrong that it makes me not want to leave a review? No, it sounds very pushy. You shouldn't beg for a review. It's weird. There's ways you can ask for a review without sounding like you're begging.
Right. You could say something like, and if you absolutely love your order, reviews are always appreciated. There's nice ways to say it, but like don't forget to leave a review. Reviews are not a requirement for buyers to leave. So
how is Go Imagine's mosaic different from Etsy's pattern?
It's hosted by Go Imagine. It's very similar. It's a very similar thing. You're basically getting a little website that is connected. The big difference there, I think, is that Go Imagine actually has support, whereas Etsy, I mean, you're backing one marketplace over another, basically. I'm getting to the point now with Etsy where I don't think that anyone should have Etsy as their only source of income because Etsy's making a lot of mistakes. They're wrongfully deactivating people. They're deactivating listings, saying that they violate the Handmade policy when they don't. And then you can't reach customer support. I lost my line of communication with their head of customer support because he doesn't work there anymore. So
he got fired because you worked with him.
That one line of communication that I had with Etsy is gone, and now I keep getting swipe files again. So I have no in with Etsy anymore.
Hashtag keep Etsy human.
Yeah.
Do you ever recommend on balancing production, design, social media, etc.? Batch schedule everything that you can batch schedule out so you can focus on the more ridiculous tasks like creating.
Yep. Get yourself a planner. I love the Legend planner. You can use a digital one if you prefer, but I like the physical Legend planner. That's where I write everything out. Give yourself a day for everything. Maybe Monday is social media day. Maybe Tuesday is creation day. And then, you know, maybe Wednesday and Thursday is order packing day. Just make sure that you're also giving yourself some time to rest. I know that that sounds like a given, but I know so many people who get so excited by the idea of business that it's all they want to do. And it's not good for your mental health and it's not good for your physical health. So make sure that you also give yourself some breaks and learn to clock out. When it comes to business, it can always feel like there's something to do at all times and you never feel like you're done. And that weight can be crushing. And it can contribute, you know, to your bad moods, anxiety, when you feel like you have a million tasks that need to get done. I give myself 3 big tasks per day. That's it. 3 big tasks per day. If I finish those, I have a list of overflow tasks that are a little bit optional, you know, that there's no pressure to get them done. But if I have extra time, I will do those items, or I will do some tasks that I would normally do the following day. By giving yourself 3 big tasks per day, you'll know. And if it's not 3, maybe 3 is too much for you. It could be 2 big tasks. Or if you work full time, maybe it's just 1 big task. But you're one person, so make sure that you're also being realistic about the goals that you set for yourself. That way you don't make yourself ill, because I've done that where I've worked so much that I've made myself ill. I'm ill right now, but you know, that's neither here nor there.
I want to do this one next because it's a scam thing. Someone just mentioned that their card was charged twice for their digital download purchase. I only see 1 charge and they've already downloaded their file. Any advice? Tell them to reach out to Etsy customer support, just like Lady Vanta Black said. You don't charge the card, Etsy does. You have no control over what happens. More than likely, they're just trying to scam you, trying to get you to refund one of the charges to make you think like you're going to get to keep the money. It's a stupid scam. Just tell them to reach out to be nice, as if they're not scamming. Could just be someone who sees like a pending charge and then the charge and they're thinking they got charged twice, but they didn't really, just depending on their bank. So just tell them to reach out to Etsy customer support and leave it there. Do you know much about Michael's Makerspace, like the SEO or how people have used it and experiences? I was contacted by them to start a shop, even though they rejected me almost a year ago. I'm not going to screw around with anything giant corporate like that.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't know anything about it.
I've seen like a couple people say that they've gotten like 2 or 3 sales on it, but you know, think about who Michael's target audience is. It's crafters. So the fact that they're trying to build a marketplace, I mean, it's just another big corporate company. If it's not going to cause you too much stress to have the shop, I mean, it's not going to hurt you to do it. There's no real negative. But I don't have any like insights on how to be successful, nor have I heard anybody like tell me about amazing sales that they're getting from it. So
I definitely just got Beetlejuice and Nightmare High Tops. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm debating real hard about getting the Gundam Crocs. They did a set of Crocs themed on this.
You're gonna look like a little boy walking with Gundam Crocs.
I'm 6 foot tall.
You're gonna get little Gundam
230 pounds.
Little charms, little Gundam Croc charms.
It comes with them.
Oh, okay.
It comes with the shield and the gun and.
Cool. Great.
The Crocs stay on in bed.
Yeah. This is where the 14 years of marriage goes. It starts with him trying to dress nice and impress me.
She makes most of the money. I'll get the alimony. I'll be fine.
Then it evolves into him wearing little boy's shoes in the bedroom.
I have a jewelry shop, but I'm thinking about selling some of my resin creations. Okay. Should I set up a separate shop, or would they do? And if you're going to do that, as long as they're the same theme, same kind of audience, it should be fine.
Yeah, think about the target customer for the product. Yeah. How closely related to the jewelry are they? If the target customer is similar and they have a similar aesthetic or could fit the same ideal customer, they could totally fit in the same shop. There just should be some overarching theme.
I have some people agreeing on the Gundam Crocs. I think it might need to happen. I've had my Crocs for like 2 years now. I think it's time.
Shooketh.
Been there. Just looking for questions. Okay. Already answered that. Review encouragement. Okay. I'll be launching my first collection, POD. Can I upload my Printify listings and edit them when my shop is on vacation mode? I'm wanting to pre-upload them and hit launch at a specific time.
You can send them to draft.
Yeah.
I would just, because I always edit within drafts, so just send them to your drafts. And while you're, I think you should still be able to work on them while you're on. I haven't put this shop on vacation mode, but I believe that you can still work on them while they're drafted. And then when you're ready to launch them, just click publish.
Thank you. Going from corporate 16-hour days to personal business, I want to pace myself. Thank you for the reminder. That's awesome. And if you won't get in trouble for it, do as much of the work while you're at work as time.
Yeah, just shh, shh.
Taking an S on company dime. That's right. You only get one lunch break, but you could take as many I gotta poop bathroom breaks as you want. They can't fire you for it. Don't take, that's not real advice. Don't do that.
By the way, non-compete clauses go away in September. Did you guys
Or they
know
were
that?
supposed to.
Yeah, double check it.
Double check it. I don't know if they're gone, but no compete clauses are supposed to go away next month.
In the US. So if you've got like one of those, oh, you can't get a job working in this field for so many months after you stop working here, that's gone. So will the boot camp have a Trello? It will. I'm changing it this year though. It's different. We're doing it by month rather than by week. I'm making it way easier where every prompt within the Trello, I'm not doing a separate card for it. They're all within one card. So all your tasks for that day are in that single day.
Fun fact, Michael's is testing out selling fabric in a couple of stores. They'll also have sewing centers called the Singer Experience.
Oh.
An Atlanta store is currently testing this.
It's probably because of the Joanne's bankruptcy thing. Maybe they're trying to like steal that, you know what I mean? Steal some of that spotlight.
What are your thoughts on a multiple niche shop? Just depends on whether or not the niches are relevant to each other.
I don't see them become successful very often, just because they're very difficult to market and Etsy's algorithm kind of favors when they can notice that you want to be known for something specific. Printify is literally flying me to Latvia in September to go talk about niches because they feel that it's so important for POD sellers to know. So if they're willing to send me to Latvia to talk about it, the experts of the POD industry probably agree. Which, by the way, guys, please consider clicking the link down below or go to printify.com/amplified and sign up for your free ticket to that. You can watch it online. You don't have to fly to Latvia.
Even if you're not going to actually watch it.
Yes. But
for real, she gets first class tickets for getting most people on there.
Business class.
Business class. Close enough.
But if you go and enter the coupon code AMP Starla, it will bypass the checkout system. You don't have to pay for your ticket. Normally it's $5, but if you put in AMP Starla, you can bypass that and get in for free. I'm really excited, and I hope that you guys can actually attend that because I really would love every time I'm on screen for you guys to just fill the chat with wolf emojis so that Printify can hear our little wolf pack howl from the Handmade alphas. But
somebody said, really? Non-compete clauses? Yes. As of like 3 months ago when the news came out, that was still the news. There's always the chance that somebody somewhere up the chain in the government went, no, absolutely not. They're stupid is what they are. They're dumb. They limit creativity. They limit progress. It's just they're just not good across the board. There's no proof that non-compete clauses do anything good for anyone outside of just the company that they're for, and it limits society from progressing forward. So it's stupid to have them.
Yeah, imagine not being able to get a job in your one area of expertise. You know, that would really suck.
Yeah. Like, oh man, I was a doctor that worked on this medication and I have so much experience working with cancer medication, but I have to wait 3 years, 5 years, 10 years before I can work on it again because my company fired me. So I'm out of everything.
But do a little bit of research. There's tons of articles on it. It's that they're talking about it all over the place.
Double check that's still the case. I haven't looked up anything in like 3 months, but as of about 3 months ago, that was valid news.
Yeah.
What about mixing dogs and woodland animals?
I mean, it really just depends on the style of how you're doing it. If they were all like a consistent, like, you know, aesthetic to them, like if they were all in watercolor, for example, or that would be okay. I think it really just depends. Hunting dogs and woodland animals might fit together too. I think that poodles and woodland animals might be a little weird unless the style itself was consistent.
All right, we are good. We are good to cut it.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking with us. If you missed the beginning, I'm very sick. Can you guys tell? I promise. I'm not mean today. I know I sound mean when I'm sick, and I've also got my mean glasses on. They make me look meaner because they're so much bigger. I wore these to kind of cover up my sick eyes. But we appreciate you so much. Make sure that you sign up for Amplified via the link down below, or go to printify.com/amplified. Enter the coupon code AMP Starla. That'll get you free tickets to the event. You can bypass the checkout system. I would really appreciate if you guys came and supported me. I'm terrified. I've never flown internationally. Mark can't come with me because our daughter's in school, so I'm going with my mom. And just knowing you guys are watching is going to make everything feel so much nicer.
Yes.
We've
Please
also,
sign up.
Yes. We've also got the boot camp coming up. I'll have more details on that shortly. The dates to remember for that, though, if you're in Handmade Alpha Academy, you guys get it free, so you don't need to remember these dates. Well, maybe note the dates that the boot camp starts. But for those who are not in Handmade Alpha Academy, you are going to want to mark Thursday, September 5th on your calendars, because on that day, the boot camp is only going to cost $60. We do this steeply discounted day because when we first started doing the boot camps, we actually asked our students how much they wanted us to charge for it. And they were all saying around like $100, $200. So we decided to price it based on what they said, but we also decided we would give a huge discount on the first day. So Thursday, September 5th, we will send out enrollment information for that. We'll talk about it in the Facebook group. If you don't follow me on social media, make sure you do that so you don't miss it, or sign up for any of the freebies that I have linked down below, because that will ensure that you're on my email list so you get that information. And then on Friday, September 6th and Saturday, September 7th, that price will be going up to our general admission price, which is $100. On Sunday, September 8th, you can still get in, but you're going to pay $120. Those $20 extras are going to all go to St. Jude's. So it's kind of like a penalty, but it's not really a penalty because we're donating all of that money to charity. We have some people who purposefully wait until that last day to join it just so that they can contribute to our St. Jude charity. And then Mark and I usually match those donations for St. Jude. And, you know, whatever we donate will match, or whatever you guys donate collectively will match as well. Now, for those who are attending the boot camp and HAA students, it's going to take place from Monday, September 9th through Sunday, September 15th. Every day is pre-recorded. You'll be able to access it from the morning of that day, you know, probably around like 6 a.m.-ish, we will release it. The only live thing that we're doing is Sunday, September 15th will be our final, you know, live stream where we will kind of do a quick overview of everything and answer last minute questions from you guys. So keep in mind, this is a 7-day event. You guys will have access to it until January of 2025, but we're building up your Etsy shop for the holidays. Last year, we had a lot of people message us in January, February, and March, upset that they could no longer access the holiday boot camp. But it's an event.
It's an event. It cuts off January 1st.
Right. If you buy concert tickets and you choose not to attend the concert, you can't get mad 4 months later.
There you go.
That you didn't go to the concert and now you want the concert delivered to your door. It's not how it works.
Nope. And if you buy HAA, you get it for free every year, and it stays in HAA. I'll probably keep 3 years worth in HAA. That way I don't have to store all that information.
But HAA students, you guys get it for free. This year for the boot camp, because I have to travel to Latvia, I'm really relying on other speakers to help me. I'm only going to be presenting on one day, as long as all of our speakers like follow through and we don't, you know, lose anybody. I will be presenting on the first day. Most of the content this year is going to be from other speakers. I want to be completely transparent about that. We're going to be doing optimizing your Etsy listing photos, trying to get listings that weren't selling in the past relaunched so that the algorithm can kind of reassess them. Hannah's going to be covering that. I'm going to be talking about marketing psychology. Christina Nicole is going to be talking about optimizing your listing photos and videos. Dave from Add to Cart, he's going to be talking about Etsy ads. We've got Angel from Passive Income Angels. She's going to be talking about TikTok strategies this year. Mandy from Simply POD with Mandy. She's going to be talking about marketing when you don't like social media and how to use influencer marketing and media. We'll also have the video that we did about press releases, how to get yourself featured in news and media. That will be the video that we had from the first boot camp. I'm going to add it into this year's boot camp as well, because I feel like it's still relevant and I don't need to re-record it, because I think that, the information is great. But Michelle is going to be offering her press release writing services again for $35, which is a fantastic deal. And then who else did we have? We had one more, I thought. Me, Christina, Hannah, Dave, Angel, Mandy, Q&A. No, that's everybody. So yeah, guys, that's coming up. I'll have more information about it. It's going to be very different this year. Like I said, it's not going to be like us all working together on marketing again this year. Just because, like I said, I just don't have the time to do it that way this year. So hopefully you'll still enjoy it and you'll get a lot of value from all these speakers who are hanging out.
FYI, a Texas judge stopped the non-compete implementation, so it will be appealed and will go through the courts, likely up to the Supreme Court. So it's on hold. Of course, it's a Texas judge. Of course. That doesn't surprise me at all. And I bet he's got a bunch of money in oil and cattle and meat and all these other things where he doesn't want non-competes to.
If we're not on
be banned
Facebook,
from.
we're out of luck. I don't know what you mean. Do you mean for the boot camp
The boot
info?
camp.
I'll no. Just make sure you're signed up for any of the free stuff that I have linked down below. That'll put you on my email list, and there will be an email that'll go out. You can also follow me on any other social media platform, and I'll be announcing it there. If you don't use Facebook, it's on Instagram. My account name on every social media platform is Handmade Alphas. I'm on almost all of them. I'm on Instagram. I won't post it on Pinterest. That's silly. But I'm on LinkedIn. I'll post about it there. I'm on Twitter. I'll post about it there. It'll be everywhere. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out through our sickiness. I'm going to go take some medicine and get some rest. But I appreciate you all.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.